Imagine living in a world where somebody who works in the school system has inappropriate sexual conduct with a minor, yet claims to be the victim of some sorts. Imagine living in a world where said person committing to a act such as this says that they're being accused of this due to their good looks. Well, you don't have to imagine, because we are living in that world. A teacher who used to teach special ed, was a soccer coach at a school. Her name is Christina Formella, and she is now claiming to be a victim of misogyny because, you guessed it, she had sex with a 14-year-old boy. And God knows what else she's been doing. But I came across this article, and you can look at it right now as I post this picture of her. Isn't that nuts? This woman here claiming that she is a victim. Can you believe it? A victim. Not the kid. No, not the kid. Her. She is the victim. How could the world do this to her? You know, how could the world do this to such an attractive woman, right? She, you know, how could this happen to her? Right. This is the world we live. Just think about that for a moment. Just think about this for a moment. She is the victim and not the child. Christina Formella took it upon herself to have, and in the article it says that she, committed the act of rape 50 times. 50 times. 50. And not one of those times did she think that any of this was wrong. None of it. Not one time did she ever think to herself, I'm the adult here. I have a position of power in a school system, and, I shouldn't be doing these things. I'm a grown-ass woman, and this is wrong. Not once did she think that. No, instead, she thinks, oh my God, the world hates me because I'm a woman. And they're doing this to me because I'm a woman, an attractive woman by that. How could they do this to me? Listen, lady, you're not the first, and unfortunately you won't be the last. I've been saying this. I've been saying this recently. I think on the show. What is going on? I mean, we already know there's a bunch of creeps out there that are men doing this shit with girls in their classes and all that stuff. I had one in my middle school, Spanish teacher, who got fired because he kept putting his finger on girls' hoodies and shirts and stuff, reading things like Abercrombie and Fitch. Of course, you know where. Or Aeropostale. Like, dude, it's pretty obvious. But what is going on today where all of a sudden now there's an uptick of women who work in school systems that are teachers, coaches? All of a sudden now you're hearing a lot about that. And the question I have is, for being an attractive woman and all that stuff, whatever, some of them married with children and all that good stuff, what are you doing? What are you doing? What made you think that this was the right move in your life? You go to that school to work. You go to that school. By the way, you're entrusted not only by your employer and the town that you work for and all that stuff, or that you work in, whatever. You're entrusted by the parents that have their children go to this school to learn from you and all that stuff. And here you are doing a dirty act and betraying everyone's trust, including the child's. And now you want to claim, oh, I'm a victim. Oh my God, the men hate me. The men hate me. How could they do this? How could they do this? I'm an attractive woman. How could they do this to me? Listen, honey. You are the epitome of trash. You are garbage, Christina Formella. You are the epitome of a waste of air. And you know what? For this, I don't even care. They should give you extra time for being such a piece of garbage that thinks that you're the victim. You're the victim of misogyny? Have you not understood what you've done? You are a PDF file. You are a predator. Oh, she doesn't like that either. She doesn't like to be called a predator. She fucking hates that. But that's what you are. You prey upon teenage boys. You prey upon kids, children. And I know there's idiots out there that'll say, oh my God, M-Balm. Well, when I was a young boy, I would have been happy if that was me. Listen, I don't give a shit if the boy liked it, didn't like it. He's 14 at the time. It doesn't matter. It's wrong. It's not only legally illegal, it's not only legally wrong, it is morally wrong. And if you think that what she did was A-okay, then maybe you should get thrown in prison for whatever ass backward fucking way of thinking you have. Because if the shoe was on the other foot, and it has been multiple times where grown-ass men working in school systems have inappropriate contact with a student who's a female at the age of 14, everyone and their brother comes out saying, oh my God, this guy needs to go to prison for life. Now, for whatever reason, when a woman does it to a 14-year-old boy, it's high five. How? You did it, Johnny. You did it. You banged your teacher. Good boy. No, you're fucking stupid. It's dumb. If you're a father out there and you're high-fiving your son because he banged his teacher, you're a fucking idiot. You're a clown. That is disgusting. Look, dude, I get it. Oh, well, when you're that age, you're this, that, and the other. Or my other favorite argument is, well, teenagers bang all the time. Yeah, they have sex with other teenagers. Not to say that it's right or wrong, whatever, but they're not banging some 35-year-old in the school system working there as their teacher. Where are you getting this from? That I don't understand. The argument there. Oh, they're having sex anyways. Yeah, they're not having sex with people that are adults. You know? If you're in school and you're dating a 15-year-old, you're having sex with the same age. Again, whether you think that's right or wrong, whatever, so be it. But this idea that people fucking have in their head that they somehow defend. They somehow defend the acts of these teachers and stuff somehow. They're like, oh, well, Johnny liked it, or, oh, they're having sex anyway. You need to have your head checked. Because the last time I remember looking back at it, it was against the law for this to happen. And it's absolutely immoral. And I don't give a shit what you think. It's immoral. I don't care. You're an adult. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you when you think to yourself as you're teaching your class, wow, Devin looks pretty hot today. Or, wow, look at Alicia. Look at that skirt. You should be thinking about teaching these kids, doing your goddamn job, and going the fuck home to your family, if you have one. And if you're interested in these activities, do it with another consenting adult. I'll never understand, ever. I don't give a shit who wants to sit there and normalize this. I'll never understand anybody who wants to sit there and say, oh, It's just a sexual orientation. No, it's not. Don't even try to categorize this as a sexual orientation. This is a disgusting act with a child that cannot consent. And if you think that I'm wrong, well, fuck you. Because guess what? You're part of the problem. And you probably have some demons in your closet that need to be looked into. Anybody that sits there and defends any type of pedophile or any of these other people that want to do horrific things to kids and all that shit, you are fucked in the head. And this woman's no different. She claims to be a victim? Listen, lady. Nobody cares that you're an attractive woman. And believe me when I say this, nobody's victimizing you because of that. You only get what you deserve because you had sex with a 14-year-old boy, and you've, I guess from what I'm seeing, 50 times. God knows if there's more. That's a lot. A lot of times for you to sit there and think to yourself, wow, I'm a real piece of garbage. What's wrong with me? You're an adult woman who's not bad looking. You can get a guy your age. You can get a guy who's an adult. Christ almighty, you can get a 20-year-old legal consenting adult. And you wouldn't have this problem. Yet, you choose to diddle 14-year-old boys. And I'll never understand the mindset. And I don't want to understand the mindset because it's disgusting, it's gross, I don't want to understand it at all. I've come to the point in my life where I don't want to understand a lot of people in terms of how they end up in the way they do. Because it takes a real dark, twisted individual to have those thoughts. And be it that it may be that us as human beings tend to, have some darkness in us. That one and all the other above, that stuff is way over the line. And as far as I'm concerned, this Christina lady, throw the book at her. Let her spend the rest of her days behind bars. Because if you think that she's not going to be doing this again when she gets out, you're wrong. It never ends well for somebody else. And obviously, and I would hope to, whatever higher being you believe in, whatever, hopefully she never gets to work in the school system again, in any of them. She has no business being anywhere near children ever again after this. She broke that trust, and there's no reason now for her to have any contact with a minor going forward. And if you're out there trying to defend her or anybody else like her with any of the things that I talked about earlier, well, again, you need your head checked and investigated because there's something wrong with you. There's no reason for an adult, man or woman, to have any type of sexual contact with a minor. This was Blacktop Breakdown number 3. I hope you enjoyed it, because when I look at stuff like this, I think to myself, why? Why? And I just felt like I needed to talk about it. And I know we talk about it on the podcast, but sometimes I just got to get it out there. And right now is one of those times. So Christina Formella, you're not a victim. You're not a victim of anything. You're not a victim of misogyny. You're not any of that stuff. What you are, though, however, is what you think is horrific to be called. An absolute predator. You're a predator. You're a pile of trash. And there's no changing my mind on that. People like you who want to prey on children. You should be feet first into a wood chipper. That's it. That's the video. Until then, I hope all of you are having a great day, and I will talk to you soon. M-Balm out.